There's a movement taking place across the country, and it's spreading throughout the world. It's an eco-district movement. This may be a little-known term for many, but if it's successful in Rochester, the local effort could serve as a model throughout the region and the state. But what is an eco-district, and why do we need it, and how can it really regenerate urban areas such as Rochester? Joining us to explain is the manager of the Greentopia Eco-District at High Falls, Rachel Walsh, and planner at Highland Planning, and also Greentopia board member, Andre Primus. Welcome to both of you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, you know, people are watching and they're thinking, eco-district, what in the world is that? So I'll have you first, Rachel, break it down. What is it? Why do we need it?
So an eco-district is a way of addressing sustainability from the neighborhood scale. So usually when people think about sustainability, you're talking recycling in your homes or at one factory or one building that's LEED certified. What eco-districts does is it takes a boundary of a neighborhood and says, hey guys, if we collaborate and do this together, we'll have far more of an impact at the neighborhood scale than we will at the individual scale.
So what does that mean though? I mean, because I'm not following. So tell me how to explain the kind of, how does it serve the people within that neighborhood based on what you just said?
So what it serves is, usually you find out that there's a lot of silos. As soon as you start having these conversations, you find out that every individual is doing something towards sustainability. Everybody's trying to recycle, everybody's trying to compost. They're all doing things. But if we did it together, we could have more buying power to, say, make the cost of something cheaper. So if we all bought into solar at once instead of us all doing it individually, or if we all decided to compost with the same company, we could offer a better rate. So this idea that doing it together makes it less expensive for the individual and ultimately gets more people on board, so you have more of an impact at the neighborhood scale.
And then based on that, how does that help to rejuvenate then the neighborhood? That's the word that I've heard, rejuvenate, renew neighborhoods and urban areas. How does that take place then?
Well, there's a couple different things that seem to happen with eco-districts. First of all, there's a focus on equity and social justice, which means when we're talking about the neighborhood scale, we're also not just talking about carbon and composting. We're talking about, is there affordable housing? Is there transportation? Are the streets walkable? Is the education good? And when you start to look at all of these various factors, you find that you build better neighborhoods. People want to live there, they want to work there, they want to shop there. So you get an influx of economic development because stores want to be where there's a walkable, complete street. If there's street trees, people want to walk there. So you find this infill of people who are just naturally gravitating towards these dense, diverse urban neighborhoods. Things we've actually seen with the South Wedge. It's not formally an eco-district, but that's what we saw in the South Wedge. We made a cool, interesting, dense neighborhood. Everybody wants to live there. So what we're saying is take that model of neighborhood development and add in a sustainability aspect to it, where we take carbon into it as well.
Got it. So in doing this work, I know that getting input from the public, communities that are directly impacted by this eco-district, which is within the High Falls area and surrounding neighborhoods, there's kind of this community buy-in. This is an inclusive process. So, okay, Andre, I know that you're involved in this aspect.
Yes.
What are neighbors saying? What do they want to see? What do they hope to see within this eco-district?
Yeah, well, we actually knocked on every business's door in the eco-district, and we asked them a couple questions. We said, you know, what are you already doing to try to make your company green? What would you like to do, and what could the eco-district do for you? And we heard things like, oh, I'm trying to recycle, but I have certain things that are hard to recycle, or, you know, I'm an auto shop and I've got these chemicals and different things like that. We've heard people saying, oh, I'm doing all these things, but I didn't know that anyone else was doing them. And so we have heard from people, as Rachel said, that they're trying. People in the eco-district are trying to be green, but they're not, it's hard to do by yourself. So that's kind of what we're hearing from the businesses, is that if there was some way, like she said, to get buying power between businesses, to combine things so that these green efforts could be, you know, a team effort instead of just doing it building to building or business to business, it would really make things a lot easier.
And that's how this is supposed to be, right? This public-private partnership.
Exactly. From individuals who live around the city who are interested in having another neighborhood in Rochester where you can come and is dense and is interesting and stuff like that. We've heard so many different things. We've heard people ask for different amenities, different improved parks, dog parks. We've heard people ask for better street lighting. We've had a lot of ideas about ways to run street lighting off solar power and things like that. People want bikeable bike lanes. People want improvements to the area directly around High Falls. We've heard some people with some really interesting ideas, like someone wants to build wants us to build a bungee jumping thing off of the bridge. We've heard people say, oh, even if we just had an elevator down to the bottom of the gorge so you could have a better view of the waterfall. So that people have talked about amenities and things like that. People have talked about also just bringing in community identity. One of the things that the Eco District can provide is, it's not just a neighborhood that's green.
Right.
This is the Eco District.
Yeah.
And having that community identity helps businesses, it helps people.
Yeah.
It's really something that's important.
So I understand that one of the goals is to make this area a destination, the downtown High Falls area. So I want to start with what's happening right now to do that. And I know the Eco Brewery District at High Falls is one project. So talk a little bit about, Rachel, what does that entail? Why an Eco Brewery District too?
Yeah, there's so the Eco Brewery District is specifically Genesee Brewery's project. So what they're doing is they're taking a portion of their production line and making it much more eco-friendly. So they have more agility to make smaller batches because it's less expensive because they're using less water. The other things that are happening in High Falls is MCC's moving downtown, and they just retrofitted part of the Kodak Tower with, there's green roofs, and it's just about LEED certified, I believe. So they did a sustainable retrofit on the Kodak Tower, so that's going to be a destination campus for MCC. Coca-Cola is actually a zero waste bottling plant already. Greentopia has been doing placemaking efforts in Brown's Race. There are so many green things that are already happening in this area that we feel like if we combine our efforts, we will start to really develop that narrative that this is the green place in Rochester to be. Because the brewery is already doing the Eco Brewery, and because MCC is moving in with its green roofs, because so many things are already happening there, it's a good place to sort of start this catalytic energy.
And it's also, I think, it's nice that the Eco District has these large partners, Coca-Cola, MCC, the Eco Brewery District, and has smaller partners. It has one small business owner who just wants to be able to recycle. And I think that having everyone working together, not just, oh, he's a big partner saying what everyone does, but having everyone from top to bottom working together is really going to be impressive.
Based on what you're hearing from the community input, how much, how is that information weighed, and how will it be decided whose recommendations are yay and those that are nay? Yeah,
well, so there's a lot of different things we're considering, but we've at this point, Rachel has completed the draft plan. So we're actually going to be bringing in more people. We're going to have a public meeting in early June to have people look at the draft plan and give us their input on what they think from this draft plan should be implemented and what should be prioritized and things like that. But
is bungee jump in there?
It's in there. Okay, it's in there.
Okay.
I don't know about prioritized, but we have to prioritize everything by what is the impact it's going to have, what's the amount of time it would take to implement, and how much is it desired by the people who live there.
How long will it take? As I know this is going to take some time. Do you have a timetable, and when will we, could you say, yeah, we're just about there, we're almost done? Yeah.
So the planning study will be done this fall. We're actually going to launch the 1,000 Trees project. Greentopia is starting an effort to plant 1,000 trees in the Eco District. So we will launch that project along with the Eco District formation process. I won't get into the weeds, but there's actually a certification process to become an Eco District, which is what we outlined in the plan. Okay. So that'll take about 3 years. Okay. And then at the end of those 3 years, we will have our official stamp from the official thing saying we are an Eco District.
We have to close for now. I'm sorry to do this, but a special thank you to my guests for joining me. And you can learn more about Rochester's Eco District. Just go online to greentopia.org/ecodistrict.